Now, we will start with part 2 on pages 118 and 119. And now let's start with the vocabulary that we will have in this unit. Violently. The last earthquake shook the earth violently. It means causing harm or damage. Chomping. She sat happily chomping her breakfast. It means to chew food noisily. Defeat. It is impossible to defeat an ignorant man in argument. It means to control or overcome. The antonym is lose. Nimbly. Sandra jumped nimbly out of the van. It means able to move quickly, easily, and lightly. The synonym fast and the antonym slow. And now let's continue our story. The wise woman replied, I have seen the great parrotfish that eats rock instead of coral. Come join us. Together we will think of a plan. She mentioned Nanette to sit down with the others. As she sat, Nanette noticed that some of the best singers in the village were there. With every minute, the ground shook more violently as the parrotfish's chomping brought it closer. Nanette's heart beat faster. Nanette tried to concentrate on the clean scent of the maiden's long hair, flowing like pools in the floor beside her, in order to keep the maiden's minds off the shaking. The Magahaga started to sing a new Cantan Chamorita. Nanette listened as the woman added verses about catching the attention of the village's strong fishermen. One girl sang about catching him with her long hair. This gave Nanette an idea. Words formed in her head. She sang, but before we listen to her song, let's check the new words that we have here. Violently, chomping. Weave, weave with fingers quick, the nets to catch the giant fish. Let us use our flowing hair to grant this life-saving wish. A light flashed in the Magahaga's eyes. Yes, child, you are wise. The old woman brought out a sharp shell knife and said, we need to cut off our hair and weave it into a net if we are to defeat the creature. Let us work together quickly, quickly. The only word that we have here is defeat. The maidens let their hair fall to the ground in mounds. With the speed of a sailfish, they nimbly wove the black tresses into a web. Songs floated through the air until the powerful net was completed. Then together, the maidens set off to find the great fish. But when the maidens arrived at the bay, there was no sign of the parrotfish. They saw only men shaking their heads with faces full of worry. Boom! Another bite was felt underneath the island. Nanette noticed lemon peels bubbling up from the water. Look, she said, pointing. What is happening, Magahaga? Nimbly is the only word that we have here. The old woman answered, they must be from Pago Bay. The women there use lemon to wash their hair. Nanette's face grew hot, and she whispered, but Pago Bay is on the other side of the island. The fish must have eaten a tunnel underneath their island and started to munch on the other side. The island would soon split into two. They needed to find a way to get the fish to swim back to Agatna Bay. The old woman shouted, hurry, girls, use your beautiful voices. We will set a trap for the fish. At once, the maidens sang a sweet melodious song. Their hearts were full of love for their people and their island. Tears sprang up in Nanette's eyes as she sang.